So, if you watched the last reading, the previous reading, and we were talking about the crashing out and the rage, um, that rage room is probably one of the best things you can do. Or go do like a physical contact sport that is supervised, like kickboxing, things like that, um, with professional trainers. Because there's someone that has every right to crash out, but you got shit to lose. You have every right to crash out, but you have shit to lose. Your ancestors want you to remember that you are royalty, and royalty don't act that sugar honey iced tea crazy out in the streets. They get their way, they get their lick back in different ways where the person would never know until it finally hit them, and they'd be like, wait a minute. There's a quiet crash out that you need to do. They are handling it, but you need to do a quiet crash out because you have so much on your plate. You have so much that you've been working for. You've worked so hard to get to where you are. They've worked so hard in the spiritual realm to get you to where you are. And you need to do a quiet crash out, unfortunately. As much as you want to do a loud one and as much as you want to do a big one, they said not right now. Let them handle it. They got it covered. For others of you, the full moon may be significant for you. So something could have happened during the full moon. This situation that you're angry about could have happened during the full moon. Or by the full moon, your ancestors will have something handled for you. Because there's a lot of good things happening for you. Like, I'm seeing someone was at a crossroads, and you finally, for the first time in your life, you followed your north node versus your south node energy. And they are like, we worked too hard to get you here. You worked too hard to go toward your north node energy versus your south node energy that you're comfortable with. And we're like, we need you to do that quiet crash out. Because for some of you, you've made the decision and walked in that path in your north node energy, and you instantly regretted it because of the backlash. See, when you go in your north node energy, that's where you're destined to be. That's the new you, not the old you. The old you was in your south node energy, where people was using you, abusing you, taking what they can from you, you being a giver, and all you kept dealing with was takers. Like, that was your south node energy. That's where you were comfortable. So your north node energy is going to shake things up for you, but there's going to be some backlash with you choosing yourself. There's going to be some backlash with you going in the path you're supposed to. See, when you're walking in your north node energy, look at it this way. Say you want to use God and the devil, right? God and Satan, whatever you want to use, right? Good or bad. Good is your north node energy. Life gets better when you follow that north node energy. After the age of like 30, 35, and you're still walking in your south node energy, life just gets worse. It doesn't get better. People don't tell you that. Life gets worse when you stay in your north node energy after your Saturn return, when you were supposed to learn all them lessons that you needed to learn during that Saturn return, and you keep walking in that south node energy, life is going to get harder. Life is going to get worse. Life is going to get bad. During that Saturn return, figure out your north node energy. So around the ages, I think, what's the Saturn return? Is around what, 25 or 26 or something like that, or 27 to like 30 or something like that. In them years, look it up. I ain't no astrologer. Don't take my word for it. Look at the age range when usually you have a Saturn return, because you have multiple, I think, after a while. But my thing is, those are lessons, hard lessons that you needed to learn to get you into your north node energy. Now, the minute you learn about your north node, what sign it's in, what house it's in, and you learn about yourself, that's why it's so important to know your natal chart, you will start to receive things more quickly Manifestations will happen faster. Life will get easier because you learned the lessons. See, your South Node energy is something that you came in with, that you mastered in a past life. And what's so funny is, my North Node is in Aries. I think I may have said this story before, how I used to think my dad was selfish because he used to always make sure he was good first and then everybody else around him. He's like, ain't nobody gonna be good unless I'm good. And if I'm not good, nobody's gonna be good. So of course I gotta think about me first, right? As a kid, you think that's selfish, right? Because you probably been trained to be a people pleaser and put other people before you. But when I found out that my North Node was in Aries and I needed to jump on board with my dad's characteristics traits, it's like, what? So God really did give me the parent that I needed. The parent that I was like looking at him like, you mean, you selfish, you this, you that. I needed to embody those characteristic traits. And actually, there's nothing wrong with you making sure you are good first before anybody else. And that goes for you parents too. Because how are your kids good if you ain't good? How you about to pass out trying to cook them a meal because you ain't make sure you ate first? If that means you got to get up a half an hour early to make sure you eat a bowl of oatmeal or some fruit or get your cup of coffee, or for you to just woo-saw and get yourself together first, you know how much smoothly your day will go? You know how much happier you will be, the kids will be, the husband will be? You got to take care of you first. And then everybody else. Okay? I don't know who needed to hear that, because I feel like you really regretted making the opposite decision than you normally make. But you don't see, after you climb that mountain, the freedom you will have, the justice that will be served, the karma that will be dished out to them people that deserved it, that did you wrong, the more smiles you'll have. I'm not saying that once you climb that to the other side of that mountain that you ain't gonna go through other lessons and receiving other blessings, and you may go through some conflict and things like that. That happens all the time. Different levels, different devils. The thing is, you learn as you keep growing. You learn how to deal with certain things. You realize you don't take certain things personal anymore. You sit there and look at it as, okay, they may have something going on with them because I know it ain't me. I came in peace and they over here coming in chaos. I know it ain't me. And you're not going to take that personal. They may say whatever they say, but you're not going to take it and hold it into your heart and chest and say, oh, well, that's who I am because that's what they said. You're going to know. Just because they said that does not mean it's true. Now, if you believe that it's something that may be true that you may need to work on, well, then guess what? You work on it. But you don't allow that to define who you are. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to encounter different people. Sometimes you're going to encounter the same spirits that tried to attack you in the past. But because you know better, you do better. Because you're more self-aware, you're aware of those spirits that are trying to attack you, that are trying to influence you. And you turn your back on it. You don't sit there and dwell on things anymore. You feel the feelings that you need to feel, and then you move forward. Because dwelling on them is going to keep you stuck and stagnant and in the past instead of you being in the present, which is where you're favored. You're favored when you're in the present moment. Stay in the present moment. Worrying about the future is going to give you anxiety. Worrying about the past that you can't change no more is going to give you anxiety and sleepless nights. You're favored and you're gifted when you're in the present moment. So don't regret that you decided to do the total opposite of what you normally do, because you did the right thing. It's just, there's some things that you got to change about your behavior, how you think, how you process things, how you perceive things. This is a new level and different devils that you're going to deal with. So ground yourself, woosah, know that you made the right decision for choosing you, and everything's going to be okay because your ancestors, your spirit guides, God, Allah, got your back.